I say, welcome to the Clustertruck Tournament Speedrunning 2021 Speedrunning Tournament Clustertruck. What's your name again?
I think it's AJ213.
I call him Dave. What are we doing today here, AJ? Who's up on the docket for a race?
Jfred and Sarastees that are going to race to the death on the any percent category.
And as a special double feature bonus, we're going to be having actually 2 runs for you. Snakeathon versus Max, also in any percent, so it's a quad any percent day. You get 4 for the price of, 4, actually, and there's tax, and then shipping and handling. Packaging costs a little bit extra too, and we do expect, a tip, some kind of gratuity for Christ's sake.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go!
And the timer has begun, and at least one of the runners has started running. So I'm interested to see when we actually start seeing, some proper any percent in these any percent runs, because when you're not running in, the highest levels of any percent, a lot of the game is just run pretty normally. A lot of levitation is used, but not a lot of portable trucks. And as long as we're just warming up here in Desert World, AJ, you want to tell us what a PTB is, separate from a PPTB?
So a PTB basically is throwing a truck against the wall, get hit by the truck, and then bam, you get launched out. While a PPTB is involves some pausing, and then you get launched straight up instead. Both of these runners should be using them throughout the run to hopefully save some time. Hopefully. It's not guaranteed. They may screw up like a dozen times.
Here's our first PTB coming in from Jfred on 2-1, trying to wedge this truck into the rock, have the truck bang off the rock, hit him in the face, and send him up and over the fence. Right now he's just jumping in a little bit too low. He needs to float a little bit higher. That was almost up and over. There is this fence behind him that he needs to clear when he gets hit by the truck. Very specific positioning on where you want to put that truck in order to get the right gap between you and the truck. Here we go. A little bit of levitation now. That's the power of the PTB. In any percent, a lot of the time, the PTBs and PPTBs actually end up stealing time from you that you could have saved if you just would have moved through it, because many of these tricks are very hard to pull off. If you get them in the first instance, suddenly saving a whole bunch of time. If you don't, then very easily, for example, in that 2-1, it probably took 30 seconds to get through 2-1, could have been through it in about 15 seconds going the long way around.
And I actually would say it's a common mistake for a lot of people starting any percent to spend too much time focusing on skips rather than movement, which can easily save you time. Because overall, the way to get improved at this level is to not die.
Coming into World 3, seeing Jfred using the very tricky any percent technique of jumping to the left and hitting the lev button a few times. The first 3 levels of World 3 are just jump left, hit levitation occasionally, and you will clear it. We are seeing this gap close pretty dang quickly, though, at the end of World 3 and the beginning of World 4. We've got Cerastes coming into 310 now, and using the PPTB. I believe that's the first PPTB we've seen. This works out. Go over the entire level in about 12 seconds, come down and hit the goal. That's nice. That's going to help to keep that closing that gap. Coming into 4-1 as Jfred just moves into 4-4. We've got a 3-4 level gap going on right here. We got ourselves a race, friends. We got ourselves a race.
I'll be interested to see if they try the 4-5 skip. Ooh, Jfred playing it safe. Makes sense though. Makes sense.
And Sarastees actually got through 4-1 in a single pass, where Jfred lost some time there, which means this gap is still a closing.
Honestly, from any percent perspective, Jfred isn't doing anything impressive, but overall, for a race-wise, very, very smart to take things very carefully.
Yeah, finding a lot of safe, clean strategies through, and really just having the levitation on hand and knowing where to use it and where not to use it. See? Right there. Right there, that big gap on 410, pulling out all of the lev, having just enough left to get through to the end.
Entering into medieval, there is a lot of possible portable truck boosts that you can do in this world, but optionally.
So you basically have to jump off of the track, off of the course, be floating out there just above a death plane that's below you, turn around, position yourself at just the right distance from the wall, on a section of the wall, at the right angle of the wall where it's likely to work, throw it against it, and then you can rocket into the goal in like 4 seconds, or, die and keep trying to do it 7 or 8 times.
We 90% runners prefer to die several times. It's much more efficient.
Oh, I'm loving this little hopping from the flamethrowers. Oh, mechanic.
Oh, Mr. Jump though.
I wonder if this is Jfred's usual method for this, popping from one barrel to the next of the flamethrowers in order to just avoid all of this mess. The gap is 2 levels now, with Sarastees coming back from I don't know where he's saving the time, honestly. I having trouble looking over at the frame rate. I'm not going to pretend like the frame rate isn't the frame rate over here. It's kind of hard to look over and see what's happening. But when I look over and see that he's in 5.7 while Jfred's in 5.8, I go, where did he save the time? Jfred didn't lose that much.
Well, I did just notice, out of a few of the frames that we get, that he did do a portable truck boost that I was mentioning earlier. He did a few. So, yeah, landing them first try saves a lot of time.
For the briefest of moments there, both runners were in the same level. Let's see if this gap can't close anymore. Jfred using that over-the-barrels method of just jumping from one flamethrower to the next, exiting 5.9 just a few seconds after Cerastes moves into 5.9, getting the PTB in 5.10, sending him, it's a good PTB too, it's the up and over the building, one of the faster versions of that. Sometimes it comes in slow and you've got to go under and use a lot of levitation to get there. That was a nice one. Used it very well.
Ooh.
And, yeah, going for that 6.2 turnaround. 6.2. I always go, that one's just fun, and it's a special one. It feels different in your hand because you have to willfully stop yourself from jumping. Just run to the edge, fall off, turn around, and throw it, and it just feels a little bit different than pretty much every other, except for maybe 9.2, every other PTB in any percent. Which is why we see Sarastees going for just a mega jump version in 6.2. Because it does feel, it feels really good when you get it. It feels really bad when you don't. I think playing any percent becomes very apparent how much design and effort went into these levels from Landfall Games developers, because these levels like that, like 6.6, has a giant goal cube that extends back for like a quarter of a mile, just so that if you figure out that trick, you'll be sure to get it. And then, you know, it sort of communicates to the player, these are the things you should be looking for, because we thought about them too.
Entering into sci-fi now, I'm going to be honest though, that's when any percent starts to ramp up in the difficulty of the skips. At least optionally, there's a lot of portable truck boosts that could be done sci-fi until hell.
Hard skips, like the PTBs in this level, when I was training for any percent and trying to learn the PTBs, trying to find walls to throw things off of, none of them really felt like any of the other PTBs in this world. And I want to say, both runners are in 7.4 at the same time. We have a gap between these two runners of 3 seconds, if that. In fact, Cerastes has just taken the lead by pulling ahead with a quicker clear. He's only ahead by about a second, but he moved very fast, and Cerastes is going for the PTB off of the wall, and he's got something. It's hard to tell through the frame rate, but he's got something. Is it enough to get him all the way to the goal while Jfred schleps it up the long way here? It looks good. It looks like he's got the levitation he needs. He's out of 7.5, and he's out of 7.5 about 6-7 seconds before Jfred has the option to leave because of that skip. That is where any percent starts.
And we're seeing the complete different strategies here in this level too. Oh, actually no, Sarah ended up giving up on the portable truck boost. Maybe.
Let's see if he goes back to it. Yeah, it's really worth sticking with this one, even if you're not getting it early. Doing this way, you can get 3 or 4 attempts in before you start losing time over running it the conventional way. And so even with those deaths, we see that these two runners are about 1 second apart coming into 7.7. Oh, it's so cool when you see that just side by side, they both got the same screen. It'd be even better if Sarastees' screen wasn't, 4 frames per second, but it's still good. Oh, Sarah has gone for... Oh, going for the major any percent skip here. This could be huge. This could put, 15, 20 seconds between these two runners if Sarah can make it to the final blower. Managed to get hit by the first blower, I presume, got a throw that went right over the next blower, right to the next blower, over the entire first line of trucks, then threw a truck down into the blower as they were going over the second one, got hit by that. Sarah now setting up for the PTB off of 7/8's wall, which is incredibly hard to get. These walls are so, difficult just to look at and see that there's any definition. It's hard to place yourself in them.
Both of these runners, though, pulling off their skips correctly. I'm kind of wondering what's gonna be the level that changes everything. 8-3.
At this point in the game, I'm starting to think Sarastees is, if I were putting in a bet right now, I would bet on Sarastees because they've been going for so many skips. I assume that they're very practiced on certain things like this up and over, which is not the way that I go for it on 8-3, where I'm guessing that Jfred is going to do what we're seeing Jfred do, which is move through the level in a more conventional style. Safer, although on these levels, that's arguable. Whoa, as Jfred is demonstrating for us right now.
Doing a little dance.
Cerastes is moving very comfortably into the PTBs in World 8. But Jfred can do it as well. That's a nice up and over on 8-4. Hard to see what Cerastes is doing here in 8-10 with the low frame rate, but it looks like he managed to get the PTB off the back wall, catch the side of that gear, which has a hitbox that it really shouldn't, and be thrown the rest of the way to goal. And move into hell, 2-3 levels now ahead of Jfred.
But will Sarah keep their composure throughout hell? That is the question.
Sarastees now looking for the PTB off the front of this platform to just go straight to goal. A little bit short on this one. Can he find a truck before he hits lava? He has. He's stayed in the air. Just stay up, land a truck, a little bit of lev, and he's out. Ooh. A lot of clenching in World 9 here. At least for me.
I agree.
I'm getting my kegels in today, AJ.
Trying for the 9-7 pause portable truck boost for Sarah.
I'm just going to try and hold my tongue through 9-7. He's got it, though. He's got it. A giant up and over on 9-7. Saves a lot of time fighting and just taking a bunch of deaths, which is almost assured in 9-7 via any other method. And gets an up and over on 9-8 as well. Boy, it's really hard to tell what's I'd like to say how he did it, but I think that happened in the 20 or 50 frames between where we get to see what's happening. But Sarastees is moving across the final chain and the level before, the final level of the game, before we go up against Cluster Satan here. And as practiced as Cerastes seems to be on the PPTBs and everything, I think we're just going to see a quick PPTB to send him up to the top of Cluster Satan's head.
Actually doing a very unconventional setup there. Usually it's done on the truck that you spawn on.
And now he's switching over to that.
Yeah.
And he's got it. He's up in the air. Now he's got to hit that button from the side so that he sort of glitches into the side of it and hits it twice. I think he's just hit it once. What's he gonna... Oh, he hovered in midair using levitation until he got a second portable truck to respawn and then drop that truck on the button in order to hit the button the second time, even though the button was covered over with a shield to prevent you from doing exactly that. That was actually really cool. I love that backup. I've been in that situation many times, and I've actually, I want all of my PBs to end that way because it's such a, oh, he lost it, what's he gonna do? And then you just wait a little bit, throw another truck down, and clear it. That's beautiful.
All I will say is that it's amazing because what ends up happening a lot, at least to me, is I'll try for that backup, but I end up not having the portable truck in time to even throw it on that button.
Yeah, because you've got those flames coming up from the shoulders of Cluster Satan that are there specifically to make sure that you can't just re-land the button, and you've only got so much levitation, you gotta stay up. Jfred is now coming into 9-10 to finish this out, and Jfred, in any percent, not going for a PPTB. It's a method that you've really got to train and be practiced on. So it looks like we're just going to see a conventional clear, at least until we get up to the button. I'll be curious to see what he does with the button, presuming he can get there. This is in no way easy. Going the long way takes about 38 to 40 seconds on average, anyway, to get up to the top, and it is very, very deadly. If you touch anything but these trucks, you're dead on the shoulders of Cluster Satan here, and these trucks don't really want to let you walk on them. They feel like they're covered in ice. Oh! I love that! I love that he just snipes the truck placement through the corner. That's so cool. Just jump up and...
Hey, and both work.
Heck of a race. That was very cool. We saw the lead change a number of times entering into the end game there. You know, we had a lot of time where these two runners were just 3 levels apart from one another. Cerastes pulling away, I feel, based on the virtue of his any percent game at the end of World 7 and going into World 8. What do you think, AJ?
The bulk of any percent, or the real any percent, would be those last 3 worlds. And if you don't have those skips mastered out, it's going to show. And that's what kind of what we saw here.
I had max 20 frames and I had severe frame drops every single time I put a portable truck.
Well, I will say this, Sarah.
I need you to repeat that.
We're probably not going to be able to do like a proper interview back and forth here, but that was a hell of a run. If you were struggling due to frame drops in game, it was hard to see that. There weren't a lot of frames for us to see that, but it was hard to see that. I was just saying to AJ, you were getting so many of those PTBs and PPTB methods on the first try or within the first, 3 tries, and that is a hell of a run.
All I got from that was a hell of a run.
Well, that's all you need then. Hello, Jfred. How did you feel about your run today?
I think it was pretty good for my average. I overheard it was pretty close.
A lot of straight, safe tactics we saw. Was that for the race, or is this just, this is your run?
This is my run, basically, yeah.
I think you've got the chops for no ability and no utility, seeing the methods that you've got and the routing that you've come up with for an any percent.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, thank you, both runners. That was the tightest race that we've seen to date here, and our first dip of the tongue into the any percent category. We've got one hell of a race coming up between Snakeathon and Max. So you want to give us a countdown?
We might as well. Okay, I'll give us all a countdown right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go!
And the runners are away and into Desert World. Doodle-a-doodle-a-doodle-a-doodle-doo. Commentary. Oh, this is the first race we've seen where both runners have their timers up in the corner, in case you've never played Clustertruck before, in case you have been playing Clustertruck for thousands of hours and never realized this because it's kind of undocumented. If you press the T button, you get the timer in the corner, and we can say things like... who's that? Snakeathon just came out of 1-3 with a 5.9 second time, which is very impressive. Getting sub 6 in 1-3 ain't easy to do.
Oh, interestingly, both are very traditional on their 1-5, just taking it like a no utility almost.
Yeah, honestly, with the PPTB setup on 1-5, you miss it once and you're already losing time over just running it in if you've got the chops to just run it in. Both runners in forest now. Snakeathon coming into 2-3, a little bit of a mega jump to get him over the beginning of this gap, touches down on one truck with a nice levitation boost off of a floating truck and out with a very nice time, moving into 2-4 as Max is pushing out of 2-2 coming into 2-3 now. Whoa. With the lag. Come on, baby. Come on. You could internet. Come back to us. I know Comcast runs you in America, but you got to do better than that. 9.2 seconds out of 2-4. We actually could have, with as much sort of backed up lag as we're seeing right now. Yeah, suddenly Max is almost tied with Snake just when the frame rate finally catches up. 2-7 is a tricky level to be running in any category. Snake going for just an easy little up and over instead of turning around doing a PTB off of the back wall. Very difficult PTB to get. And with a clean, smooth first try 2-7 like Snake just got, hard to beat that time even with the PTB. Tends to take 2 or 3 tries to get that PTB, even if you're real good at it.
Max got it second try though, so doing good. And if I had to assume part of the lag from Max might be because he's from Europe.
Look at what Snake's doing with the 210, and he hits the thing and then bounces off and then levs to goal. He had about, I'd say, 4 inches of clearance there and managed to make it work. If this man is rusty, if this man is dust on his shoulders he's shaking off, I would love to... Can I get that dust? Can I sprinkle myself in that dust later? Good God. We're just 4 minutes into this run, and we're already almost to the exit of Winter World. This is any percent run fast, ladies and gentlemen, by both of these runners. In fact, this is an interesting time. We could talk about how the lasers work in Laser World, because these lasers, especially since Snake is in 4-5, they seem to end at the edge of those circles he's passing through, those irises. They do not. They go on in perpetuity. You just can't see them. So if you want to go up and over or around or do something tricky or whatnot, you could do that, and you can get sniped out of midair by an invisible laser that does not end.
My favorite part is when I go extremely high, thinking, oh, I'm safe, there's no way I'm going to be killed. Zap!
Yeah.
Snakeathon
Snakeathon going...
for one of the classic ones.
The PTB off of this little... I have no idea what it is, but it's pretty. It matches the theme.
Mine?
I guess it's a laser generator, that's it. That's probably what it's
Oh, okay. We need to shut those off right now.
Whoa, Snake, what are you doing? What are you doing just grinding the side of that and taking it out like you... Oh, here we go. This is what we were talking about in the previous race. PTBs off of the walls in World 5. Very fast if you go for them, but very tricky to get if you don't have a lot of experience having the right angle, the right position, the right distance between you and the wall for the truck to spawn in and throw you out. Meanwhile, Max coming into 4 and 10 now for the final level. See how much speed he can get. What he goes for, he's going for a mega jump from the rear of the level coming up, just touching the one truck that survived on that particular RNG seat of that level. Very odd, very unusual to see just one truck at the front, but because of the method that Max brings to it, he's got it.
Did you see how snappy that portable truck boost was? He threw it against the wall and just snapped his entire head over 180.
Yeah, with these two runners, we could absolutely see some IL gold today on any given method, you know? Just get the right PTB on the right wall, at the right place, and suddenly you're coming in faster than you've ever come in before. This is one of the worlds where the levels are brief. They are short. You can move through these real fast, which means... well, it's not good for anybody. If you're trying to catch up, the other runner could just slip right through him, no problem. And if you're trying to maintain a lead, then you could get stuck while the other runner slips through him with no problem.
Oh, I think that's a beautiful 6-1. Yep, that's pretty good. Looks like Max has been struggling with some portable truck boost, which is why he's been falling back a little bit, at least in the gap right now.
Snakeathon going for the outside route on 7-1 here. You just get a bit of speed, jump outside, and use your levitation in. Same method that you'd see used in No Utility by the top runners in that category. And then jumping out to the left and just taking the fall on 7-2. This is where in the last race we were interested to see some of the runners not, taking a much longer route to get here going up and over. If you know that route, not very difficult to do it. Just takes a little bit of levitation.
Snake struggling on 7-3. Ooh, but he got it at least.
All of these sci-fi world PTBs off of those walls, they're just the worst for me. It's like I can't see the wall well enough. There's not enough like gradient to define how close I am or am not to the wall. Very hard to get a sense of the distance and set up what you need in order to get a successful PTB out of here. Also, the one that Snakeathon is trying for right now, and pretty much all of them have a tendency to want to throw you diagonally out. They want to throw you either to the right or left, and it seems like no matter which side you do it on, it always wants to throw you toward the nearest wall. Just the PTBs in World 7 are really the difference between being one of the top 5 runners in the world or not, because they are so touchy. God, if it doesn't feel like it's different on every single wall.
Oh, Max going for an interesting strategy. Doing a height boost and levitating to the end. I wonder if that will work.
Seems to.
Make it interestingly enough, though, is Max is doing the portable truck boost on the right side. And one thing that's very interesting about that is, well, the portable truck, you don't throw it directly from the center of the player. No, you throw it a little bit to the right. And so sometimes doing portable trucks, at least in my opinion, it can be a bit hard doing it on the right wall. I'm not sure how you feel about that, Ronan.
Yeah, because I feel you have to lead your shot more. You know, it's like playing a first-person shooter or something. If you're moving right and you need to throw it to your right, then you need to throw even more to the right in order to make sure that the truck is spawning in a space that you're moving into. Whereas when you're doing the other side, when you're moving to the left, you can almost throw it dead center.
Now entering to Steampunk for Snake. Oh.
He got it first try, first throw. Damn, 8-3 is one of the hardest PTBs to pull off because you have to control your height to stay under the giant airship, the balloon portion of the airship. Well, you also need enough speed and distance, height to get over everything, speed to get through, but you can't go too high. Very, very tricky. Very weak little 9-2 pop that it's giving him here coming into hell, but... Oh, and the lava level rose. What was that, AJ? That was weird. That was unlikely RNG for the lava level to pop up above the trucks. It almost seemed like it happened because he hit the trucks the way he hit them.
Maybe Snake is too strong. He made the trucks hide.
Snake has gained a lot of weight since he's been actively running Clustertruck to push all of the trucks down beneath the lava level in 9-2. I don't see that, like... There's weird behavior on 9-2, but I've never seen it just suddenly come up on you or have all the trucks go below. That is weird.
I wonder if it was just a visual glitch, or if they actually went through the lava.
Snake climbing the hill in 9-6 here, just wants to get up to the top with some speed, and then presumably take a bit of a grind and throw. Alright, well he grinds the back of it, and now he's just going to use levitation. Hit a truck, keep the speed, and lev himself into goal on that. But now we're into the Haymaker, 9-7, and he's not going for a PPTB to get him up and over this mess. He's just going to be relying on his levitation to allow him to move through in a more just conventional way, and in the way that no ability would move through, you know, except for the levitation. One pass clear on 9-7 with the safety of levitation. It's a good call. The time that you spend trying to set up that PPTB at the front can be lost to just not getting it. Very difficult PPTB to actually get to respond to you the way you want. Oh, and Snake taking a big old jump off the end of 9-9 there in order to get a very early start on 9-9, touching the last trucks in the row, a little bit of levitation moving out. Are we going to see the PPTB exit from Snake here? Of course we are, and he's doing it on the side, on the outside as opposed to the inside. I always do it on the inside. Have you seen, is it more common for like right strafe runners to do it on that side? Because you're a right strafer. Holy crap! He got so much height there, you'd think he just beat the game. And that's time for Snake with about a 17:21 would be my guess on contacting that. Timer's still running for Max here. I find it very difficult. I think it has everything to do with the oddly shaped terrain. Holy! Pulling off that PPTB for mega height at the beginning of 9-9. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody, you know, do this level like that. From the very first truck at the beginning of 9-9, just get a great big jump. And setting up for a mega jump to make sure he's got enough airtime to get to the end of 9-9. Ooh! Ooh! Oh, all of these are looking good.
Oh, this one should make it in.
And he's in with a 19:21-ish, because I clicked the pause button when the run ended. Just 2 minutes between these two runners at the end there, and really, if you're coming in an any percent run with a sub-20 time at all, you're pretty fast at this game, aren't you?
I would definitely agree. And really, once you get to these top runners, the difference between each other is just going to get very smaller and smaller. And we're going to have closer and closer races. Oh, hi, Max.
Hi.
How was it? How do you feel about this run?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a bad run. At first, I did feel a bit nervous, and I messed up a few levels at first because I felt nervous. But later down, I got more comfortable and succeeded more skips and stuff.
How did you feel about your steampunk PTBs in general? Because I got to be honest with you, you had the lower of the frame rates, and it is hard to drag my eyes back to the lower of the frame rates. So there was a fair bit of the run that I was missing.
They were actually pretty solid. I was really surprised by my 8.3, which usually is like my run killer. I got it first try and super fast, and I was really happy about that one. And the rest of the PTBs were pretty good as well.
You're 9.9. You started out and you went for a PPTB off of the first truck.
That's right.
You didn't go forward by that is so interesting to me. I've never seen, someone set that up right there, right then.
It's pretty consistent for me, actually. I figured out like a nice movement with my mouse to always land that pulse-portable truck boost, yeah.
It was very impressive. I was like, what? What did he just do? Why did he do that? And it's like, oh, well, because it works. When am I going to see you beat my 6th place and push me down to 7th?
I don't think it will be long.
I don't either. It was a very good run. No, hey, what? No, he's not shooting. Oh, I'm going to take your... That's not how it's... AJ, come on now. It's like, oh, shots fired. Burn. Roninpawn. You need some salve for that? All right, well, thank you to both of the runners. Very good race. Just 2 minutes difference in any percent and showing off this category for the first time on the Speedrunning Clustertruck 2021 tournament of 2021, where we speedrun Clustertruck tournament. We'll see you next time. On out. Wait a second. What? Which buttons do I... There's a thing and then I hit the... Oh, it is that one. No, that wasn't the right one. It's this one. There we go.
I'm sorry. Okay, there